Hello YouTubers! Before I put up my next fishing or camping video, I want to share some of my thoughts and my plans for upgrading my yard for 2025.
Well, hello tubers. Uh, it's March 30th, and typically what I like to do is, and I had planned on going down by the river and shooting some video down there. I do have a new harness for my GoPro, and so I was going to do a little fly fishing and possibly even do some more drives around some campgrounds in the area here up in Nuevo County. But the weather hasn't been working very well with me. And so another thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm starting my new project, or my goals for the spring summer season of 2025 is to get my yard and my property up to shape. I know this isn't a traveling sort of a video, but I usually throw on a little bit of extra stuff as well, just like a lot of other people are too. And I thought as well, if anybody had any comments or suggestions, I'd welcome them as well. There's a few things I've already started doing last year, and where I had to stop, whether it's for health or weather reasons. And then there's some other things I'm starting out fresh with. I do have some repairs to do back in my backyard, where I had a tree fall and do some damages, and so I have to do some repairs to my chain link fence, and so that's on my agenda. What I'd like to do is, with doing this video, is kind of document what I'm doing. And it also will give you some motivation to kind of really put some extra time and give you the motivation to get out here and actually work on the yard. I have made the first step, and I've given up trying to fertilize it myself. That hasn't worked out very well, and I know part of it is my watering habits, that I just don't water religiously as I should. That I have to work on. But as far as fertilizing, I've signed up with TruGreen. They're not sponsoring this, but I have used them before, and I've heard some good things about them. I know there's a lot of people that's going to have some negatives about it, but if it's something good, I can show it. And the same thing, if it doesn't work out very well, I can show that too. Now, I've signed up to get 6 applications over the period of the spring-summer season, and in August or towards the end of the season, I'll be aerating, and they're going to do additional seed coverage. So probably won't see my best results until the next year or so, but I'd like to see how the effect goes over this next season or summer. So from that, we'll kind of go on and take a look, and I'll kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to be doing. Now, as you can see, the grass is reddish splotchy yet. That's typical, you know, since we're just coming out of the winter. One of my things or objectives I want to do is, on the other side of the fence, I've already set my landscape timbers around the little garden area I have there, or shrub area, and I have to do the same thing here. Now, I haven't decided if I want to keep this as red shredded bark, or else if I want to change it to black, but I do have to set these timbers, and so that's another project that I've got to finish up. And that's going to carry on through here. Now, I did fill in the stones. That was done about 2 years ago. So that cleans up pretty easy. Just my leaf blower kind of cleans it up and get a few leaves. But I have the same thing to do with my landscape timbers that borders the rocks. So another project is this fire pit is quite old. I've replaced it once already. I'm going to do it again. The ring is all shot, so I want to pull that out. And I haven't decided if I'm going to pull it out, fill it in, and put a flagpole there, or else if I'm going to just put a smaller ring there, where I have another opportunity where I can do some outdoor cooking. The rocks here around my patio definitely need some work. Kind of put a little barrier on it, or a border. My outdoor kitchen, which is in pretty sad shape right now. The cabinet's going to be painted. Of course, I have to sweep out or clean up this area here. And I'm going to kind of clean up and touch up some of the equipment. The offset smoker, I'm going to be putting like a stool or a bench, not a bench, but a platform around it where I can stand on it, because it does sit up high and the lid is very heavy, so it might be easier to kind of work with. Now I do have my gazebo, and that's just gonna need the top put back on. They'll clean up back here, you know, behind the patio area and in front of my windows. We'll walk along here. I've got a wood pile that I want to restack. I'm probably going to be moving that back over here by this chain link fence. The kitchen table, please ignore it, but I'll probably clean it up a little bit, but all that is where I use that for my fish cleaning station. Of course, I got a lot of paint to do. You can see the yard where it's pretty well blotchy. I have a lot of moss back here. I've also had a lot of leaves on this side of the fence, which I've got to pull out, and I want to trim a lot of this shrubbery or wild little trees while I still can. A little clean up here. I might repaint this front facade and put it back to the original color that the rest of the house is. So still haven't decided on that. And of course I want to clean up this patio a little bit. I did have a hot tub out here this year, and I had a canopy out here. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to keep the gazebo over the outdoor kitchen. Put more emphasis on that. So I'll walk back out here. You can see, again, lots of bare spots. The real light green, I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but that is moss. So I've talked to True Green. I don't know if the salesman's already made arrangements for it, but the guys that did the application, my first application yesterday, did recommend lime, so I might just put some lime on it as well. So might do something back here a little bit, clean this up. Of course, that's my mini split. I'm going to be putting a outside water spigot for this. There is a spot where I can come in through the wall, or else I might just come up through the bottom, and then I'll possibly resurface or clean up my well pit cover. So now another thing I have to do is back here. I was hooking up my wire, my external receptacle, as well as my well pump connection to the house. Well, the wires in it, because the house is so old, were old and brittle, and it just basically broke. So I've shut that off, and temporarily I've run a cord on the inside of the house. I'm going to rerun that and tap that back into the house as well. So again, landscape timbers, that's got to go around the border here to kind of clean this up. Again, I might be putting a little small deck back here. Gonna clean up this area. And then there you can see some more bare spots. I do have moss that is coming up. I did treat the moss, and so some of it is probably still working, but I might just take some elbow grease to clean it up too. This is what's left of the tree that I had that fell. This original stump went up probably about 10-12 foot, and then it fell right across this area here, and you can see some of the remnants of the branches that I have to cut up and the fence that's been damaged by it. Fortunately, I didn't cause any damage to the Quonset hut, which is basically abandoned right now. The owner hasn't been back there for a couple of years, but that's another story. Maybe I'll fence that up sometime. So, but my primary objective is to get this nice and green, and this is something I'm going to be working on. All these leaves, now this is something I get every year, and because I get so many leaves in this yard, I end up blowing them back into this area, and eventually they work down to practically nothing. After I blow them more in the spring, cut them with or mulch them up the leaves and kind of push them in, it kind of cleans that all up, and there's not that much left over. So, but here you can see this isn't the trunk. This is part of the branch that basically fell right into the ground that I have to dig out. Again, there's some more of the brush of the branches that I've got to cut up. As the leaves have dried out, it's made it easier to kind of clean up, and I have already started cleaning some of it up. So, but that's where we kind of are left right now with my summer project. I've got a fence there. I may expand that a little bit, but I got to clean that up a little bit too. So this hasn't always, it looked a lot worse at one time, but it's kind of getting there, and doing things all on my own. You know, I'm kind of limited as far as what I can do and how much I can do. So it's just kind of a slow process. Well, that's a little tour of the yard. Kind of gives you an idea of what I've got ahead of me. And I just have to be patient and consistent. So hopefully I do get a lot of this taken care of. And at the same time, I've got to get my fishing boat out of the garage, get ready to start going out fishing with that, so you'll have some videos coming of that this spring and this summer, you know, with some fishing videos possibly of like Brooks Lake and Bill's Lake. Those are the two primary lakes that I've kind of spent some time on and that I know relatively well. And then I'll be doing some fly fishing on the Muskegon River. So I think one of my first trips in the next week or two, or hopefully will be up by Croton Hardy. So I'm all kind of set to do that, just to kind of get out and get it done. So But again, if you've got comments or there's some, some advice that you can give me, criticism, whatever, I'm always glad to hear it. So I won't block it out. I can take the criticism as well as the compliments.
I hope you enjoyed this look at my plans for my yard in 2025. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And most of all, thanks for watching. And please feel free to leave any kind of a comment that you like, whether positive or negative.